Hello everyone, it's Kari from sunshineonmypocket.com and welcome to my special Stamptember edition of my Halloween card series. This is the cutest collaboration with Whimsy Stamps and Simon Says Stamp. And look at all those cute little mice ready to trick or treat, or in my case, steal all the loot. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I used this die set that was previously released, but I just love it. It's perfect for a card like this. You could also use the Arrgh die set. Today I just used the stamp set and this one die, and we're going to do some masking today. And the secret of masking is to stamp the items that are going to be first most in your scene. So I'm removing the stamps that are going to be behind certain other stamps. We're going to stamp the closest to us images. I hope I described that correctly. So I took off the sentiments, I took off the little mummy mouse and all the candy, and I just stamped down these two mice for now. And then I also put some masking paper on there and stamped them on the masking paper, and I'm going to cut them out and cover them. Now, when you create a masking card, it is a labor of love. There's a lot that goes into it. So all the cutting, all the masking. If you do not love this part and you don't love fussy cutting, I'm going to tell you right now, I have something exciting to share with you a little bit later in my Halloween card series you're going to love. So stay tuned for that. And so let's go on to stamp the mummy now, and the first piece of candy that little pirate's going to be standing on. He's guarding all the loot. So we'll stamp those two down, and then again I'm going to pull in my masking paper. This is Gina K's Masking Magic, and I'm going to stamp those right there just like that and cut those out as well. You'll notice I just place my masking paper there to stamp on. It's okay as long as it covers up the image you already stamped. You're going to stamp on that masking magic. And when I use masking magic, you're going to see I like to use it all, even all the scraps. So it's going to get smaller and smaller, but I'm going to keep using it. And as long as it covers that image that I'm stamping and masking, then it's fine. So there's the candy corn I just stamped, and I'll mask that as well. And then I'll add all the rest of the candy also. We're going to be ink blending the background, so everything is going to need to be masked. Even if you think that it's not going to be covered up by another stamp, we don't want to get any ink blending on them, so everything will be masked. And look there, it's getting smaller and smaller, that masking paper. But it's still going to work for this small little piece. So I cut that out, added that one on as well. We've got two more pieces of candy to add. Here's this little one, just like this. We're going to add right behind there, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room for that lollipop right over there. So again, just stamping, adding the masking paper, stamping on the masking paper, then cutting it out and masking. I do think you could create a larger pile of candy. It just requires a little more work, a little more masking, but I think a larger pile of candy would be just adorable. I actually already want to make another card. I have a different card idea, but I want to just do a whole bunch more candy. It's time for a little ink blending, so I'm going to mask off the bottom portion to create the ground that they're standing on. I'm just using some mint tape for this, and I'm just going to ink on a little bit of this vintage photo distress ink. That's going to represent the ground. It's going to create just a spot for them to be standing on, so they're not all floating in midair. That's our ground. Now, when you pull off this masking mint tape, you want to make sure you don't pull off all the masks that you just created and put on. They're going to want to stick to the mint tape, so be very, very careful when you pull this off. I am going very slow, very methodically. You can see all of it wanted to come right off, but we want to keep those masks on so that we can ink blend the top portion now. So I'll just cover up the ground that we just inked on, and now we can ink over the top. I'm bringing in 3 colors of ink, actually 4, starting with the lightest color, and then we'll bring in some salvaged patina, peeled paint, and black soot. I'm starting with a very light hand and a small amount of ink, and I'm very slowly building that ink up. One of the secrets to ink blending is to start slow and build the ink, because you don't want big blobs of ink on there. A lot of times I'll have a scrap piece of paper off to the side that I kind of dab the brushes off on so I don't get large blobs of ink. I didn't have a problem with these colors. With this darkest one, I started off the paper and then slowly brought the ink onto the paper. That really helped as well. And then after I ink blend these 3 colors, I'll bring in some black soot and ink around the edges to create a little bit darker. And I'll go back through all the colors as well. So when I'm done, this is what it's going to look like, and I can reveal that ground. And it's time for my favorite part, which is to remove all of the masks. And we're going to reveal what the scene looks like below. It's magical, this part. I think it's almost worth all of it just unmasking. But wait for the coloring too. The coloring is pretty good. So I usually save all my masks that I create because you can reuse these. I'll put them on the back of my stamp set, and then I can use them until they stop sticking. But I did all that work cutting them out, so of course I want to reuse them, use them again. There's our cute little scene. I'll clean off my background with all the ink on it before I start the coloring. Now I'm not going to leave all the coloring in here, but I thought I'd leave some because people always want to see some of the coloring, at least some of the coloring. And so I'll show you this here. I started with the pink parts of their ears and their little tongues. It's really fun to color up these images. I had a really great time coloring them, and I just turn music on when I'm coloring and color away, and just choose some of my favorite colors that I think are going to complement each other. Now I do need to mention that this stamp set is exclusive to Stamptember, and it's exclusive and sold only at Simon Says Stamp. And when it's sold out, it is sold out. As of right now, time of posting this, I checked, there are still some sets available, but it's better to go run over and grab it while you can, while they still have it, before it completely sells out and then you're sad. That happened to me before. So I just do want to mention that. I will link the products below so you can take a look at them. I do want you to know that I don't get an affiliate commission for this stamp set, but I love it so much, that's why I'm sharing it. I just want to, if you love it, I want you to be able to get it as well. For the little mummy, I'm using some neutral grays to color up his mummy wrap. And that's a really fun thing. And then for this one, I think he's like a little vampire bat. And I decided to color this up like a cape. So he's got a little red cape on, this little vampire. You could also color it up to look like bat wings, so he could all be the same color. But I just love that pop of red. And I use the same red over on the pirate's cap there on his little bandana on his head. So that brings the red throughout. And then you'll see I'm going to bring the red in one more time at the very, very end. So see here, I'm coloring up his little cap here, his little bandana. And I will add some white gel pen polka dots to his bandana as well, just for some highlights. This is so fun to color. As I said, I adore these images. There was one image I could not fit on. Well, I probably could have masked some more and put that little pumpkin mouse on there, but there was the one image I didn't use, and that's the pumpkin mouse. But I used all the candy, all the other 3 mice here, and 2 of the sentiments, but there's still quite a few sentiments to choose from. for the stamp set. It's a really great set. If you know Whimsy Stamps at all, you do know that they love Halloween over there. They design a lot of Halloween products and a lot of Halloween stamps, so it was perfect that this collaboration was a Halloween collab. I adore it. Now, also, I do need to mention that you could use these for things other than just Halloween cards as well. I know there are a lot of pirate cards that you could do for a birthday card. It would be super fun. Use all that candy for a birthday or a celebration. You could use the pumpkin mouse for some fall cards. There's also a little pumpkin image in there that you could use with it. There's lots of other things. So just don't think you're stuck doing Halloween cards with this set. But I do love my Halloween cards. You know I do. I'm going to finish coloring up this candy and skip ahead to the mice in just a second here. And for the mice, I used some gray colors and also some browns because I wanted them to look a little bit different. But I did go with warm grays for this little vampire bat mouse, I guess. And I went with W7, W5, W3, and W1. And then for the pirate mouse, I used lighter grays, but still in the warm gray shades. So that brought those together. And then for the little mummy mouse, I used some browns because I wanted him to kind of stand out from the mummy wrap. And so I used some E30 shades for him. But look how simple and fun he is to color. You can see I'm coloring him pretty quickly. And for his face, I start with the darkest colors, but leave a little bit of white on the edges. And then I color those with the lightest color. And I'm going to go back and forth on his face just a little bit to make it darker and darker. And then I will blend that through so that the center of his face is the lightest. And that's basically what I do on the other mice as well. And you'll see that I'm going to start on that little pirate in just a second with the same warm grays, but color him up just a touch lighter. Aren't they so cute? Here's the browns for that little mummy mouse, the E30 shades, and I just realized that I need to get some re-inkers for these colors. I do love using the E30s on animals and fur. So there we go. I'll finish coloring him up, and then we'll just need to finish off this card by adding the sentiment. I'm going to stamp the sentiment with some black VersaFine Onyx black ink and then heat set that with some clear embossing powder. And then I decided to add a little bit of red around the outside of the frame to bring more of that red in and make it really dramatic. I love a dramatic card. So fun, so cute. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really hope you've been enjoying my Halloween card series. I've got a number of more cards to share before Halloween, so stick around. I hope you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.